Straight ahead on CCX News, we have Antarctica beat, the dangerous cold that has Hennepin County Sheriff's deputies on alert. Plus, firefighters brace for the worst.
It is one of the worst case scenarios.
How they get ready to battle fires in the deep freeze. And later, getting your house in order. A professional organizer from Robbinsdale provides some helpful tips to clear the clutter. CCX News starts right now. Too cold for mail, too cold for businesses, too cold for just about anybody, except the Hennepin County Sheriff's Office. Reporter Sonia Goins and photographer Dustin Scholl show us what they did to help people struggling in the negative 50-degree wind chill.
And the bitter blast also caused problems for us here at CCX News. Only one of our vehicles would start, but it's a minor inconvenience when you consider all the people who have no choice but to be out in the elements. Although it's bitter cold, the sun is out, and it's a whole lot warmer inside the Hennepin County Sheriff's Office Brooklyn Park location.
We've been taking donations for the last couple days here. As you can see, we got lots of blankets, we got jackets, we got hats and gloves and boots.
For the past few days, they've collected cold weather gear.
This is absolutely needed. I mean, you're talking frostbite within 5 minutes.
We are carrying some of those supplies you saw earlier in the other room, but blankets, jackets, hand warmers, some snack packs. Regular
patrol deputies in squads and vans are hitting the streets with the winter necessities.
Oh, it is very, very cold. It doesn't take long to get frostbite.
Deputy Dan Koski normally looks for criminals.
It's nice to be able to drop those other things as we're able to and to focus on something like this.
Today he's searching for victims of the polar vortex.
Got some hand warmers there. And
This man and his friend just moved here from Kansas City.
There's a Twin Sat. Welcome to the Twin Cities, huh?
They're not used to the extreme temps.
It's cold there, but this is brutal.
The crazy cold is a bit much to deal with if you're not prepared.
You have any gloves?
The new Minnesotans gladly accepted the cold weather gifts.
Interested in a blanket or not?
Yes, absolutely.
Yep, here.
Grateful for Minnesota Nice.
Thanks so much, appreciate it.
Sonia Goins,
You bet.
CCX News.
The Hennepin County Sheriff's Office is still accepting donations at its Brooklyn Park location, and crews will be out tonight helping folks in need. Imagine fighting a fire in these conditions. Fortunately, local cities like Maple Grove have not had a fire call just yet, but if a blaze breaks out, firefighters face unique challenges. We get more now from Eric Nelson.
This bone-crushing cold has shut down schools and even stopped the U.S. mail, which was not delivered today. But there is no escaping the deep freeze for firefighters in the northwest suburbs.
We're here 24/7. Always prepared, always ready to respond, no matter what.
Inside Maple Grove Firehouse number 2, shiny red trucks are ready to roll into action if necessary. However, in Arctic conditions like this, the last thing firefighters want to see is an actual fire.
It is one of the worst case scenarios, especially this frigid, because everything freezes immediately.
If and when a call comes, these fire trucks experience problems immediately once they leave the station.
It's extremely hard on our equipment.
The trucks carry 750 gallons of water, which can quickly freeze in sub-zero temps. As for firefighters,
it's even worse on our people.
Working in this weather is a grueling ordeal. They have top-of-the-line gear, but that only goes so far when dealing with a fire and ice contrast.
Two extremes. It's hard on the body, it's hard on the people, especially when they're working hard.
According to Maple Grove Deputy Chief of Operations Chris Kummer, the city keeps close tabs on firefighters in wicked winter weather and will rotate crews.
In these situations, we cycle them in and cycle them out sooner than we normally would.
Fortunately, the Maple Grove Fire Department has not faced a worst-case scenario, but they have had other calls come in.
We've seen an increase in our fire alarms, both water flow type alarms where pipes have burst and water is flowing, and also we've seen an increase in CO alarms.
In Maple Grove, I'm Eric Nelson, CCX News.
Should people need a warm place to stay, a Brooklyn Center Church says its doors are open. Brooklyn United Methodist Church offers not only a warm place, but also warm beverages and food as well. So far, more than 40 people use the church as a place to get warm, including 10 people who spent the night on Tuesday. They say in times like this, what better place to go than to a church?
For me, I'm fortunate, to have shelter, and I can imagine, people out there who don't have shelter, especially in this time.
Pastor Dolope will have the night shift this evening to oversee the facility. He says the church partners with Brooklyn Center Police to provide a safe place to stay. Thursday is somewhat of a reprieve. Who knew we could get excited about a high of -4? However, when factoring in the wind chills, the cold is still dangerous enough to cancel school. Robbinsdale got an early start on canceling school for Thursday. Today, Brooklyn Center, Osseo, Wayzata, and the Anoka-Hennepin school districts announced they will remain closed on Thursday as well. Anoka-Hennepin, which is one of the largest districts in the state, says it doesn't have the option for a late start due to the district's large transportation program. Also of note, in Osseo and Wayzata districts, they will have after-school and evening activities, practices, and games. Those will be held as originally scheduled. The Brooklyn Park Police Department has come together to support one of their own who was recently diagnosed with cancer.
As soon as we found out that she was sick and was seeking treatment, of course, we wanted to help out any way we could, and the whole organization felt that way. And so the idea came up of having some sort of pin that we could signify our support for her.
Brooklyn Park Police are wearing a yellow ribbon pin stamped with badge number 183 in honor of Officer Emily Krob. 3 months ago, Krob was diagnosed with cancer of the skeletal muscles called RMS. She's been off duty since November 5th as she undergoes chemotherapy. Brooklyn Park City staff and members of the public can purchase the pins for $5 each at the police station. The money will go directly to Officer Krob to assist in her fight.
There are a lot of people that knew of her or maybe didn't even know her that are donating money, looking for ways to donate money or buying a pin just to support. It just reassures us that what great community we have and how much support we have out there in our community.
Officer Krob has served with the department for 14 years and spent 4 years as a school resource officer at Champlin Park High School. Now more developments on a story we've been following. The Maple Grove Planning Commission approved revised plans for a storage facility to go up near I-494 and Bass Lake Road. The owner of the Holiday gas station in that area purchased a small piece of land to the south and wants to turn the land into storage units. Neighbors had concerns about traffic and lighting. After meeting with neighbors, the developer decreased the number of units from 262 to around 170 units, and he made other changes as well. The Planning Commission recommended approval this week. Some of the commissioners had strong words for the neighbors who seemed to not want the land developed at all.
I don't want to really preach so much, but this property is probably going to be developed, and if we let this go, we might not, what we get next might not be as good as this.
We might not have seen the end of this quite yet. The concept plan will now go before the Maple Grove City Council. We can thank the Maple Grove Police Department for warming us up at least a little bit through social media. The classic Yule log was a nice touch today. Here's some of our other favorite Polar Vortex social media posts of the day. It was an e-learning day for students in the Robbinsdale School District, so Meadow Lake Elementary posted pictures of their teachers working on lesson plans. Brooklyn Park's Scullivan Distillery put some of their 80-proof vodka outside. A thermometer stuck into that frozen chunk of vodka reads -21. And when hockey practice was canceled, a group of players from the Osseo Maple Grove Hockey Association went to pack 15,000 meals for charity. And quite possibly the best tweet of the day came from Plymouth City Council member Judy Johnson. She says another upside to -50 degrees is that the emerald ash borer larvae don't typically survive this cold weather. That's a good thing. Still ahead, getting your house organized. Hear what a professional organizer from Robbinsdale has to say. Plus, we'll visit the top-ranked Hopkins girls basketball team as they prepare to tip off with number 2 Wayzata. But first, numb's the word we start thawing out on Friday. With the Netflix series tidying up a popular hit, many people are trying to do just that. Reporter Meredith Hackler talked with a professional organizer and shows us how you can take steps to clear out the clutter.
At Emily Carroll's home in Robbinsdale, everything has a place.
Craft supplies in here, and some of my, work stuff down here.
Even the decor in her home is strategically placed.
So the things that I have around, I try to keep things that are really meaningful. and keep it minimal so that each item here has its space and can be seen. It's not hidden behind a lot of other things.
Emily is a professional organizer. She helps people in the Twin Cities get a handle on clutter.
I wanted to help individuals just live better, happier, healthier lives, and this was a skill that I recognized that I had.
Emily helps people let things go, but she says there always needs to be a plan before getting started.
We take a tour of the house, and we have a conversation about what's working, what's not working, what are their goals, what are their needs, and we put together a project plan.
Paper, children's toys, and clothing are a few things she says most people have way too much of.
My goal when I go in is to really empower my client. Some people that I work with, they work in professions where they're constantly thinking of other people.
And focusing on things that make you happy is one major part of getting organized.
We ask a series of questions. So joy, of course, is do you like it? What kind of utility does it serve? So, if you have one of something that serves a very important purpose, like for instance, a dining room table, you need a place to eat. If that table doesn't bring you joy, it still serves a utility that is necessary. So we're not gonna go donate that.
And while the job can sometimes be emotional,
when I'm with a client and they're handling an item that maybe was from a loved one that passed away, can be really tough. I cry right alongside my clients.
She says what's most important when decluttering is not to get hung up on tough decisions.
Well, today's certainly a great day to stay in and organize your house. And Emily says a good way to figure out what you want and don't is to take a tour of your home with a notebook and write down all the things you think aren't working in your house and then start deciding what you want to get rid of. Be sure to tune in tomorrow where we see how this new tidying up craze is affecting local thrift stores. Shannon?
All right, thank you, Meredith. Still ahead, a New Hope woman chisels her way into outer space, and we will explain coming up. But first, we'll hear from the Breck boys basketball team as they look ahead to 2 games with the top-ranked team in Class 2A. John Jacobson is in next.
The top-ranked Hopkins girls basketball team collides with second-ranked Wayzata on Friday night. This will be the first of what could be 3 meetings between the conference and section rivals, and the Royals are excited for the opportunity. Here's Jason Malone with more.
You can't really call it just another regular season game. The Royals and Trojans are conference rivals, section rivals, and ranked 1-2 in Class 4A.
Everyone needs to step up, play their hardest game they can. This is the biggest game we've had this whole year, the toughest opponent on our schedule. Everyone has to step up, be ready for the competition.
Both teams can spread the scoring around and play lockdown defense. The key to a Hopkins win could be negating Wayzata's size advantage.
They're huge. I mean, we're going to have to defend and keep them off the boards. Don't give them second opportunities. If we can't do that, we're in trouble.
Speed, push the ball, get up in them on defense, transition very fast. Just play fast.
This game will also have big postseason implications. If Hopkins can beat Wayzata twice in the regular season, the Royals will likely get home court advantage throughout the section tournament.
This is the first time in my 20 years that we've ever had a situation like this where, number 1 seed gets home court advantage throughout. We've always played at neutral. And so this is my first experience at it, and it makes it kind of interesting in terms of who's going to get what.
It should be a great atmosphere at the Lindbergh Center on Friday night as 2 of the best girls basketball teams in the state go head-to-head. Jason Malillo, CCX Sports.
Thanks, Jason. Jay Wilcox will have a story on the Wayzata girls Thursday starting at 4 here on CCX News. Friday's game is part of a varsity doubleheader. The Trojans and Royals boys teams play at 5:30 p.m., followed by Wayzata and Hopkins girls at 7:15. One of the scheduling casualties to this week's cold weather was a great boys basketball matchup that was to have been played Tuesday night. Breck, ranked 6th in Class 2A, was slated to host 2A's number 1 team, Minnehaha Academy. Breck is 14-3 this winter and on a 4-game winning streak. They've won 10 of their past 11 contests. Breck will face Minnehaha twice this season in the IMAC conference. It's safe to say they circle those games on the schedule.
I'm really excited to play against Minneapolis. It'll be a good chance for us to win conference. You know, we just have to get one of those games, and excited to play them. They're a really good team, and I think it should be a really fun game.
We're very excited. We always love playing Minneapolis because everyone comes out, and it's always a good challenge, you know, because I think they're first in the state right now. We want to try and knock them off, so it's always a fun game.
So it's going to be fun. Our kids always get up for it. It's usually a good game. And, you know, like I said, we'll hope to see if my kids grew up a little bit more this year.
Breck Activities Director Brett Burgundy tells us that Tuesday's post-poll game will likely be rescheduled for March 2nd at Breck. The first meeting between the teams is scheduled for February 12th at Minnehaha Academy. For most teams in our area, the regular season in girls hockey ends this Saturday. Section tournament play gets underway late next week. Saturday afternoon on CCX, tune in for live coverage of a Northwest Suburban Conference game between Osseo Park Center and Northwest Suburban Conference West Division leading Champlain Park Coon Rapids. It's a 3 p.m. face-off at the Champlain Ice Forum. Join us for the telecast live on CCX1 or online at ccxmedia.org. That's all for sports. Shannon, back to you.
Up next, carving up creativity, sculptures perfect for winter when we come back. And finally, some people truly embrace the winter and all of its elements, and that includes Shannon Johnson of New Hope, who is captain of her snow sculpting team. Last weekend, she created this sculpture called Dream Big for the Minnesota State Snow Sculpting Competition at the State Fairgrounds. The rules say teams of up to 3 people cannot use any power tools, no molds or forms to make a snow sculpture. You also get just 8 hours of time to do it. Her creation of 2 astronauts should hold up rather well in this cold weather, so get out and see it while you can. It's free to go out there. The sculptures are knocked down if the weather turns warm, and there is a danger of it collapsing. So if it does hit 40 over the weekend, that could happen. Good job. That's all the news we have for now. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you back here again tomorrow starting at 4, and we will leave you with some of our favorite polar vortex photos sent to us by our CCX viewers.